hopefully I haven't watched the last video. So I need to add more power. So what I've done is I've separated all of my coal from that I originally put down a while ago. I stopped all of that. Well, I disconnected it from the power from the rest of the system, and I added it back into its own power grid. So, so the steam boilers are still getting coal because the coal is powering. Well, nothing's consuming other than so it's kind of in a state of lock. Boilers are producing power. Power is going straight back into the miners, and that is all. So I went ahead, now that we've unlocked some technologies, working on train rails, right? Rail signals. We'll get there. Power's off. So I have this disconnect, this one point of failure between power generation and the entire system. It's all down. If we go look at the map, I can't zoom in because the radars are down. Everything is just without power. And I want that. This is something I've never done before, but I wanted to play around with it. So I created a power station. And a power station is super easy to make. It just takes some copper and some iron and some green circuits. So what you do is you stick this down. Let's go ahead and add copper coils to this because we want to control the flow. Basically what happens, what I want to do is if I come down here, there's nothing like if we're running out of coal, if we're consuming coal too much, I want to shut the power off to the main factory to let this build back up and give me an opportunity to come resolve that issue. So what I want to do is I want to connect the power from here into wire can't reach. It's all right. It's okay. We'll take some cables. As long as they don't automatically connect like this, this should be much better. Cable from here to here and from this side to that side. So what we've got here is this giant plug that's still not giving power because the circuit is closed. Right? If I understand electricity. So the state of it is off. If I turn it on, now it's connected and power is flowing just fine. Things are running. And that's what I want to have happen. But I want this to shut off, like I said, if this belt doesn't have any product on it. So this is so fun. Is one of the great things about Factorio is I'm going to connect this red cable. It could be red or green, but I'm going to connect it all the way to here. And it's automatically going to shut off because it's waiting for a condition to be true now. What is that condition? I want that condition using the red cables. I want to look at this piece of belt. And if I click on it, I just want to read the conditions of this belt. So now when I look at a power pole that's connected to that circuit, it should show me, if I put hold, it's going to show me on the right hand side that this little one square has 8 coal on it. And I want to keep reading that. So what happens if computer issues. So we have the flow here and I've stopped it. So what I want it to do is exactly what it's done. I want to I want to hold. I want to set the signal is constant as long as there are no items. The signal is set continuously as long as the items are on the belt. Items are on the belt. I want to read from the belt and I want to give me a signal on this little network. It's just red and it's just this little tiny section right here. And so I can look at any of these poles and on the right hand side get a count that there are now 4 coal on the belt. And this is exactly what I want it to do. I want it to shut off when my resources of my means of fuel are low. I want this to shut off. And that's going to give me time to come back here and add more coal, resolve the situation, try and figure things out. And so this is just a cute, fun little way of getting this done. So you set this enable to true. I've set it to read the conditions of coal. I want to look at coal on the network and enable this and turn it on if there are more than 5 on that belt. As we can see, there are only 4. So now if I click this and plug it back in, we're going to get up to 8 and the power goes on. It's exactly what I want to have happen. The last thing you want to do in Factorio is run out of power. When you've gotten to a point where you don't have enough power producing equipment to run your factories, you could be dead in the water. It could be game over unless you have a reserve of solar panels or some other way to get more coal in there or more fuel or whatever. You can do that. One of the reasons why I leave my initial coal setup is so that if this ever happens, I can grab some coal out of here and keep on working. There is another thing that's that you can use, and this is a programmable speaker. And so this speaker will give an alert, audible and visible, based on whatever you say. So circuit connection settings, it's not set. Let's connect this to the power there. And we're going to have to test this. What I want this to do, I want a global playback. Sounds created by the speaker will be heard everywhere on the map. So I want to know no matter where I am that power is out. You can show an alert with a message in the GUI when a sound is played. And let's do that. Let's do coal. I want to do out of power. Show icon on the map. So what's our signal? I want to read coal. If it's less than 6, sound that alarm. And there's a whole bunch of different alarms to do. We can do alarm, piano, orchestra. So let's test this out. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect that. We know we're going to go to 4. Seven, 6, 5. Perfect. So now we have an alarm that's going off and will continue to go off until power is restored, the situation is resolved. I'm going to hear that no matter where I am on the map. So it's a simple little fix or a simple little solution to say, hey, you're out of power or you're about to be. And shut off the system. Come remedy this, Aaron, no matter where you are. Now all I have to do is remember when I hear that, that's what that means. We can change the alarms. I just want to leave it where it is. Because I want to be able to hear it. So that is a fun little solution to that problem. And you can use this belt reading. All you do is you click on the belt, click on a power pole or power pole and the belt. All right, let's try green. There we go. Did it not like that? No, that's fine. Now you can see by default when you do that, it stops it. So you want to just be able to enable it. There's lots of reasons you want to do this. To pulse. Every time this goes through, if I look here, it's kind of wigging out because every time a product comes through there, it just gives a little beep, 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 beep. You may want that. You may not want that. I might get into some of that more. I might get into more of that kind of build in this. I'm not exactly sure how I want to go about. I just want to do a bus and hey, how I play vanilla bus system on Factorio. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of tour of that. So other than that, I'm still building out the process for this. Let's go ahead and delete that because I want to move it to where it is. And we're going to put circuits in between these because green circuits use copper and iron. So I figure, hey, let's just smoosh them together. We'll pull off from there, pull off from here. We're going to do a whole ton of copper, green circuits and send that down on the belt. So as you were. All right, we should have better video since I changed some settings in OBS. Okay, so what we got going on here is I've unlocked all the train parts. We have rails, we have train stops, we have signals, chain signals. I have some locomotives and some cargo wagons. And so this is a good opportunity as we talk about smelting copper, and there's really no good. I'm using this up here and it's really not that big. It's only 6.5 million in size. I really want this honking thing. And so I thought, why not, instead of belting this clear over, why not use some trains and get some stuff going? So this is really going to be some fun. Let's try to think outside of the box. So we have these trains. Let's just do trains, rotate it, and then we're going to click and then click it a few times, right? So as the train comes in the track, we want to unload this. And so we grab a train stop and say right there. That's fine. Now, as I hover over this, you can see that I've got 4 or 5 little white boxes, and that's going to identify the train length. If you hit tab or escape, go into settings, interface, you can set the train visualization length here. And this really depends when you talk about trains. You can have whatever configuration you want. When we talk about trains, we talk about 1.1, 1.4, 2.6, 2.8. And what that indicates is one engine and one truck, one trailer or wagon. So this would be a 1.1 train. This would be a 1.2 train. And this would be a 1.4 train, which is what I want to run in this. Just because I don't think we're going to be doing, because we're on the bus, I don't think we're going to be needing like huge heavy loads where I would use like a 2.8 or a 3.8 and really just bring in the resources. I think a 1.4 is going to be just fine. 1 train, 4 wagons. And this could be either, I just want to say dry goods, like ores, copper, gears. You can haul anything you want in here. There are also, which I don't have unlocked yet, but there are also liquid wagons for like oil and water and other things. And we'll get to that later, but I want to start setting this up so that we can unload this. And I want to unload this as fast as possible. So for now, I'm just going to start unloading this with regular yellow, because that's what I have, and it's easy to upgrade. I want to unload this from both sides. When I say I want to unload this as fast as possible, this is what I'm talking about. Okay. And so we're going to unload. What I like to do is unload straight into buckets, or chests as they're called in this game. And so I'm going to unload this train right into some chests. And what that's going to do is give me an opportunity to just quickly unload one wagon right into chests. And then this can absorb from the chests as it wants to. And so that's how I'm going to do that. We're going to add some of these medium poles because they cover our grid just perfectly. Just like that. Okay. So train's going to come in, it's going to unload into these chests. And then from there, the chests are going to unload onto belts. And let's just focus on one side right now. Not exactly sure how I want to do this. What's best. I could go out online and look at other people's builds of this. Let's kind of figure this out our own. Let's take half of this and put them just like that. So when an object is output, let's see if we can add some power to this so we can see what we're doing. Let's grab that. We'll add some power. It's always nice to have actual power so we see how things operate. One thing I got to be careful with when this is live, if you get in this train track, it's going to run over and smoosh you. So when we have a product here, and let's open this chest and let's put in, I don't care, just a stack of train rails. See how it puts it on the far side of the track. So when this comes out, it's going to be together. And what we can do with that is add a splitter, which actually merges both of those sides and comes out onto the belt as a whole. I don't think it's ideal, but for the purposes of what we're doing here, I think it's going to be fine to start with. Keep in mind, nothing in Factorio is permanent. I even wonder if, let's do this. Let's kill that. I'm going to cut this and paste it here. Then I'm going to, I really want to see how it affects it here. I think we can just do that. Oh, I put them all in there. Let's find something that's a little more, drop that down just for experimentations purposes. Let's come up here and grab some actual product. Let's just grab whatever in there. We got 50 coal. And if I click and just add some in each, we can see that it outputs everything. That's going to be just fine. It takes a lot less space, which is good. And so we can do that because ideally what we want to do is have, oops, let's kill that. I want to copy, paste, paste, paste. And then we're going to just give ourselves a space. Now, this is using a lot of inserters. So we got to keep that in mind going forward, right? Like this right here takes almost 100 inserters, which isn't, I don't care. We're going to make them and use them. But when you go to lay this thing down someplace, it's really going to take some space. So there's two ways we can pull this off in terms of direction. We can go out the back end here, or we could go out the front with this. I think ultimately what I want to do is have one of each. Well, so here's the thing. Let's do this. I'm going to cut that, and then we're going to just utilize this in such a way that we can make this. So if I copy it and then hit R and rotate it simply, now we have a way to just send it out the back. I could cut this and then hit Shift X and R to rotate this one to come out the back. The reason I want to do that is I want to be able to kind of flip it around real quick and have it universal. Now, this is not ideal. Okay, we'll just say that right now. This is probably not the best way to do this, but part of Factorio is, hey, it's my way. This is how I want to do it. So we're going to take that, we're going to push that down, and then this, we can just have that. We'll copy this and set that over. And we'll copy that. Didn't. Oops. Let's click and drag to have this go underneath the train tracks. And now we have a nice 8 belt feed. Now what I can do, and this is overkill, is I can come in here and say, do I have it? Did somebody out in the universe make an 8 into 4 balancer? They sure did. So let's do that. And then what we can do is remove this 4 into 4 balancer and kind of have things a little bit smoother for us. Now we're going to have to bend this, and this is fine. Nothing is, this game is rarely just symmetrical. And so you're going to have what we call spaghetti a little bit. And let's rotate that around. That looks good. Copy. Whoops, is not good. It's probably easier just to cut this down. Oops. There we go. So now what's going to happen, a train's going to come in, it's going to super unload off that train, and it's going to feed down into our bus, into our smelting station that already has coal. Now I did this on purpose because we want to have coal, engine's got to run on fuel. And so I want this to, while it's here, get some fuel. So I'm going to copy this. And we're going to paste it right here for funsies. And we're going to have this come up. And oops, we're going to feed. How did I do that? It's all right. We can delete it. Cut. Paste. I said cut. X cut. Paste. There we go. Now this is going to pick up some product off the belt, this being coal, and it's going to put it into the engine for us. And let's right here. There we go. So train's going to come in at this stop, and we need to give it a name, a unique name. Let's call this, actually you can use pictures too. Let's do coal. No, we need to have, this is copper ore, unload, and where we're going to have it make. So we're going to take the copper ore and we're going to unload it to the plate station. And this is our plate station. So we have coal coming in. We can see here the type of fuel it's getting. It's getting some fuel. It's not a whole lot. Let's add a blue, really get it going. So that is the train station. And right now we only have one train. So we could easily just come around here and swing it right back around. And have it stop right there. So another thing we need to think about, trains, not just the length, but we need to figure out a direction. Right now we're going left to right. And so this is what we would call a right-hand train system. I already have some tracks here that will work just fine for us. And this is going from left to right. And then I want to flip that around and give us a little bit of space. Maybe a little bit more. How about something like that? So now we have trains going from left to right on the bottom and from right to left on the top. And this is really going to help us create that circuit that we want to have. And we'll talk about chains and signals here in a second, but right now let's have this go straight and then up and then in, just for some fun. Then we can have this merge right into it. So now this train can come in and out of that. Oops, that didn't work. There we go. It's going to loop around and it's going to go back on a track that it can find, and it's going to automatically think about things and see which one's open. So we have, like I said, this is just one train so far. It's got some fuel, and we need to connect this track all the way to the other end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I didn't copy the whole thing. I didn't want the whole thing. There we go. And then we can paste it there. We're still not getting these signals, so let's copy it one more time now that we have all straights. And I'm just going to let my robots just build it out. Right? Now, they're only going to do that as long as I have track to do it. But this is just fine. Oops, we got our problem here. Not going to, we'll have to fill those holes with some landfill. But that is just fine. For now. And sometimes you're going to have, one of the reasons to do this is it's fun. First of all. And two, this is great for long distances. This is going to be a much better solution than belting stuff clear over here. Okay, we're almost to the end here. And we'll just finish out this track. Sorry, it's in the dark. Okay, so we have all of our track, and we're going to have this. One thing I did not include is power poles in our little copy. That's fine. Let's do this. Let's go back. Let's create a blueprint for this, because I think we're going to be using this a lot as we have to go way out to find resources. We're also going to have to come back here because I didn't have enough chain rails and chain signals to do the deed. So let's go ahead and use our big electric pole right here in the middle. And I'm just going to run all the way back. Now, the better way to do this would be to have that included into our blueprint or our copy. And then as we stamp things down, it's just automatically there. You tend to use a little more poles that way. That's fine. We need to create some land. Gotta power it, because we're gonna have to power the miners down there. That's fine. Hopefully this is looking a little smoother on the camera. Looks like it is. Kind of got a little cattywampus there. It's all right. Who cares? It just needs power. So we have a train, and we have a stop called copper ore unload to copper plates. While we're back here, let's grab some more stuff. We used a lot of train track. So let's grab a lot of stuff. Let's grab some of the chain signals. Chain signals. We can grab some rails. Let's go grab some miners. Let's grab some belts. all the things that make life worth living. Okay, and then we got to head back. One thing that I like to do, do I have any coal? Yeah, let's get rid of this trees. Oh, I needed that stone. All right. We can grab some stone here from our chest. And we're going to make 40 land with it. It's not a lot, but we'll see what happens. Have to fix that. One thing you can do is, I have a train here. I'm going to put it on the track. And we're going to give it some fuel. And then if I come next to it and hit the enter key, now I'm in the train. And if I hit W, I'm going forward. So it's really handy. You can also hit the map. And if I hit control, there's no path detected. It's because land is blocking it. So we're going to have to go. This is also handy too. As you can see, my robots are just going ahead and building things out as they can. And then if I hit this, might be able to get some of this. Nope, I'm out. It's okay. We just get out and then we can right click hold to deconstruct it. And then we can build some more of the track out. It's all right, we'll get there. Like for example, let's get all this stone and that stone. Let's get some stone while we're coming out here. Then we can build some more track. I'm just going to go to the end because I still have some chain signals. And what these chain signals do is it tells the incoming train, hey, there's something on the track. And so you might want to wait for a second because what is this? Now, let's turn off our viewfinder. Get rid of all that because we're going to have to make a loop. Circle back on. Get rid of the wood. Pros and cons to that mod. So we're going to have to create a circle to come back into ourselves. And we can do that easily just by doing this. And then doing that. And so when the train gets to a certain point, it's going to switch from the bottom to the top. And come flipping right around and then go where it wants to. Okay, so we have that done. Let's clear all this out as well. And we have a blueprint. For now, let's just do our basic early game 4. I don't really want to do that, do I? I want to do it big. Go big or go home. Silly. Okay. We'll have this come off to the right, I guess. Why not? And so let's just get this and this. Then I can control cut. So what that does is give me a nice long section that I can come in and do that. And that. Oops. Those control functions are handy. Let's just get it all. I am not afraid. So it's going to leave some extras on bits on the end. We can clean all this up. It's not a problem. And then we need to, I tend to put them on the south side just so it's a little more uniform. Thought she was talking to me. My wife. Do I want treats? It's for the cat. And so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 again. We're going to go into our balancer blueprint book and do a 7 into, let's do 7 into 8. And it's going to be a honking big boy. Let's put it there since we don't have grids. Let's give ourselves some room to do the things we need to do, right? Again, you don't want to limit yourself on this stuff. Give it some power. We'll check our power. Oof. That's hefty. Okay, so let's start building this out. See how this works. So that's going to go into there. That's going to go into there. Right into there. Oh, I picked it. All right, I picked an 8 into 7. I wanted a 7 into 8, so this ain't gonna work. All right, we're gonna kill it. Go back in. 7 into 8, which is the biggest that's in this blueprint book. There we go. Nice and easy. Why did I pick 8? Because I want a quick load like I did unload. Once these are all full and once this hits blue belts, which is the fastest, I want to be able to load a train really quick. So we're going to come back in. We'll just start here, I guess. And we're going to go up for a bit and we're going to come down for a bit. And then what I can do, and run back. Let's make some more landfill. Ouch. Like I said, I like to get all this stuff set up before I turn it on. Just because it's more fun that way. Get some more land. I don't need it completely done, but I want to get it to a point where I can run at least a track across. One track. There we go. There we go. Oops. Watch me not have enough. I don't have enough. That's all right. Ooh, maybe here. I just need like 2 pieces. Go ahead and make that 4. There we go. Now if I put my train on the track, give it some coal. Now I should be able to get all the way through. Wife's gonna take a nap. We got to be careful. We don't want to smash into the back of this thing. So we got to stop it. Oops. Got to get out before I can destroy it. Good grief. Who's blowing up my phone? Okay. Family. Okay, so now we have this set up. What was I needing? It was like I need some. Oh, I wanted to copy this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's just grab a blueprint of this right here. Hit create blueprint, and I'm just going to stick it in my main book for now. And while we're here, let's grab some other things. Let's grab, see if we can make some more trains. I have inserters. Let's add some buckets to that so we can grab some of those, all of those. I think that's all we need. If not, we'll come back. It's okay. So let's put our train on the track the other way. Give it some fuel. Get rid of this and the wood. Oh, I needed some. Oh, I don't need land. While we're here, grab some of that. Create some land with it. Not a problem. Okay, so now we have this. I'm in the train, hit map, and now I should be able to hit control and click. And now the train's going to take me to that spot on the track. And this is a super handy way to get around without having to run all that way. As your train network grows, you're going to have to go from A to B to solve solutions, to build, to do different things. So it's a really handy way to just zip from A to B. And as you can see, it stopped. I'm just going to leave it there. It's not going to go anywhere. I don't have the other train doing anything. But what I can do now is take that blueprint. Oops. And we can at least stamp it down in a direction. Might have to make some adjustments. Oh, I need to be on the track. We're going to stamp it down there. Bots are going to build it. Wowzers. Now, you see the problem here? This is for unloading. And so in order to load, we got to do things backwards. And so it's going to take me a minute, but I'm going to RR. Copy. And then I can delete all of these and these. And these. And these. Right? Because we want to go into the train and into the chests. R twice to whip it around. There we go. That's part of the problem. Now we need to R there. R there to reverse from outgoing to incoming. And then it's a matter of doing all this backwards. All right. Doesn't take long. And then we can copy this and then delete all of these. Then paste it right back down. This is how we do it quick. So let me focus on one side here. And get this done. Or R to switch those around to go this way. Oops. Okay, let's double check to make sure everything's fine. We gotta switch this around. In. Some of these players can just really get quick with this. I'm an old guy. And so, Bazinga, there we go. Okay, so I don't like how I'm going to have to go up one. So this is stupid, but I'm going to adjust this and put it right there. Going to cut that. And then I'm also going to adjust all of this. Yeah, I'm going to have, we can just take this and put it right in the buckets and kind of preload it. So that one goes there. This one goes there. I aim for symmetry as much as I can. It doesn't always work that way, but part of the other fun is making it look super nice and symmetrical. As best you can. It can't always work that way, but it is fun to try. Let's go back in here and fill in all the gaps for our miners. Everything's looking cool. Okay, so that's taking electricity. And we need to add some electricity down here. We can remove this because we're not going to feed... we're not going to give it coal, the locomotive any coal here, but what we can do is come up here and do something like that. Now, what I don't like, well, I don't like a lot of things. We need to be able to come off of this, and let's just, I don't know, let's pick this spot here. We're going to come in, we're going to go down, we're going to go over a couple, maybe one more, and down. Is it stupid? Yeah. Is it mine? Yeah. So it's going to just zip right in here off the main line. It's going to come back around. You can hold shift and it gives you this long line. And then we're just going to go right back onto the main track, right where we came from. And the reason I do this is it reduces the amount of crossing from one lane down through another. It kind of keeps the flow going with my trains. And we have to give this stop a name as well. So we're going to click on it and we're going to call it copper ore load. Just going to load copper there. So yeah, this is going to fill up. It's using yellow inserters right now, and that's the best that we have in mass quickly. And so you can click on each one of these to see what we have. We can also do some math. If you have enough green circuits, we can create some cables that I like to put on. I like to put all my counts on green cable. So if I click, what I'm doing is connecting all of these chests together so that we can read them on the network. And when I talk about network, it is this line that we did with our power information. So now connected all those chests. Those chests are now looking at the wire is looking at the data within the chest, and it's going to give me a sum information, a sum total of all of those chests on the right. And right now it's 5,000. It's 5K. That's on one side. You can just think about, ideally it would be twice. So we got about 10K ore. And that comes into play when you're trying to deal with, you know, doing some heavy math. Let's just go back. So you can use that, and I'll rewire all that stuff a little bit later. once I have a mall that I can go and grab a stack of 200 cables, and I'll redo all of this and get a good blueprint of it. Okay, so I'm going to jump off. I'm going to delete my train. Now what I can do is come to the train and say, hey, Mr. Silly Pants, we need to add some stations. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to the load station, and I want you to wait either until a certain time has passed, say 30 seconds, 5 minutes, or until I have full cargo, until I have a certain number of items in my truck, my wagon, and all these other conditions. I typically go full cargo on something still like small like this. I want you to go there and load up the entire wagon, and then I want you to come back to the unload station and stay there until you're empty. Then go load, then come back. So it's just a little loop. It's already full of fuel to get going, and so I'll make sure I'm out of the way. And so I'm going to turn this from manual to automatic, and the train is now going to take off and go do its thing. Now I can hit O, and that's going to give me all of my train overview. If I want to watch it, I click on that, and then I can watch it go do its thing. Now there's only one train on our system right now, so this is not thought. It's not in-depth thinking. We're just going to go, we're going to load, we're going to do the thing. Now, one thing I did not do is add a radar. So if I want to go see what activity's going on, I have to go there. I can't zoom in. But what I can do is I can click on that train and I can see its cargo slowly filling. Again, we only have yellow belts. We have yellow inserters. This is the lowest level of automation that we can do, but I don't have to do it. I didn't have to run a bunch of belts. I didn't have to do a bunch of things. We're going out there. Hey, train, go get a whole wagon load and bring it back. And we can easily calculate how much a wagon can have in it if we, does it say? Storage size 40. There's your math right there. So it holds 40. Let's get off the main line here. It holds 40 slots, so 10 times 4, and you can easily calculate that based off of the math here. So a stack of copper ore, and if we go down to calculator, so we have 40 ore. What? It's not going to let me use numbers. We have 40 times 40. Is that not going to work? Fine. 40 times 40 equals 1,600 per wagon, and we have 4 wagons. So we got 6,400. I hope I did the math right on that, as I don't like looking like a stupid person on camera. I wait till I'm off camera for that. So we can hold 6,400 ore. Now, different resources have different stack sizes. That was copper ore and coal ore. We saw that number there too. Red wires have a stack of 200, as does green wires. So obviously a 4 wagon train is going to hold an obscene amount of red wire and green wire, which is not used in any kind of production in vanilla. So it would be a complete waste. Let's see where we are. We're getting there. And I don't mind waiting because that's just life, right? You're just waiting. Let's delete this. So while we're waiting for that, we can kind of go back in here and get our bus output going. And so as you learn more about what Factorio can do, you really your mind starts reeling with ideas like, oh, I could do this. Well, can I do that? Well, what about this? Could I have a no belt playthrough? And yes, you can. There's people that play Factorio trying not to use any belts at all. And it can be done. I think there's a YouTuber that's done that. So it really starts throwing your brain like, oh my gosh, well, now that I've learned this, I want to start over and see if I can do this, or that. So it is a lot of fun. And there's lots of, for me, there's lots of replayability with this game, where you can just keep playing and play it. So what I'm trying to do here is get this automated and set up so that, oh, here we go. He's full. Coming back. Let's go watch it unload for a second. That's always fun. I'm trying to just get a main bus going so that I could get a real mall and get some quick building going even better. Let's kind of sit in the middle. So here comes our train. We get the map too and see our little train coming. It's coming down. It's going to stop where he's supposed to. Computer code's going to go into effect. He's going to stop here until that train is unloaded. Now, at first, it looks like a freaking hot mess because as soon as the product comes out of the wagon, it's going into the chest and straight on the belt because there's no backlog. That'll happen here in a second because we're not going to output a whole bunch right away. I mean, it's not going to be very fast because our bus system isn't complete. And so we could even stop that. We could say, hey, just get here and stop. I want you to back up. I want to watch everything process and happen. Sorry, I zoom in and out a lot as I'm playing. But it's just so satisfying to watch everything run. Watch my bus fill up, my little ore bus spreading out onto the different arms. Everything's picking it up. We're making plates. The plates are coming down. Now you're going to see this at first where the bottom portions aren't going to have any ores because it's being picked up just as fast all the way down. These belts aren't moving very quick. And so they're just doing the best they can to get the product down, but we have slow belts. And so now it's all just going to collect down at the bottom. And that's fine. We'll just let it sit there for a minute. I kind of like to let it sit, like I said, until everything is all built out. Everything. While some things are built out. And we can also come in here, click on the train and see that it's going to be empty here in a bit. And then it's going to go refill. It's getting refueled automatically. And that's great. That is fantastico. So now I'm going to go get some belts. I really don't need to build out. Well, we've been going 47 minutes on this train section. So let's call that an episode. And now that we kind of know the basics of how trains work, at least one train, because that's all I really care about right now. I just needed to get copper ore from clear over there and needed a lot of it over here. And that is how that's going to work. So that's just going to automatically keep running until either we run out of coal or we run out of copper. It's just going to keep going indefinitely. So what I want to do next is in the middle of these, betwixt them, I want to do green circuits. Between green circuits, copper plates, and iron plates, those are kind of the three cornerstones of the beginning of mass production of a lot of things. A lot of things need copper, iron, and green circuits. So we'll do that here. Let's make sure we got nice, big, open, clean space. And we'll start that next.